Welcome back everyone for A Father's Quest, Cobra Kai Season 5 Watch Party. Fatherhood and surrogate fathers has always been an important theme in the Karate Kid franchise. That theme has continued in multiple ways across several characters in Cobra Kai. Many of the characters have needed and found father figures and mentors. Even in Season 4, we find Robbie, who saw Daniel as his father figure, try to take on that role himself with Kenny. Except by the end, he realized it's not easy. He felt like Kenny was going down the wrong path, and it led to a moment of hesitation that cost him the tournament. One of the unexpected resolutions of Season 4 was Robbie reuniting with Johnny, partially because he saw the challenges of being a father figure and he just didn't want to blame Johnny for his problems anymore. This was a powerful, happy resolution. The heartbreaking and nail-biting cliffhanger, however, is when Miguel decided not to fight in the All Valley. He took off for Mexico City to find his father. He didn't tell anyone and left only a note. Our disappointment about the tournament turns to worry. Miguel is going to another country with little money and seeking someone who doesn't even know he exists. This is all a little dangerous. You and I are as worried for him as Carmen and Johnny. Nevertheless, we can be pretty certain Miguel will find his father early in Season 5, maybe at the end of Episode 1, and they actually meet in Episode 2. The question is, what will Miguel's dad be like? While we don't know much about him, we do have a few very important pieces of information. Carmen has told us,
let's just say he was a very bad man.
We also know that
my ex-husband had many enemies.
So he was a bad guy who had a lot of enemies. Since Season 1, there has been a lot of speculation as to what that was. The most popular theory has been that his dad was caught up in some sort of drug cartel or other drug smuggling business. While of course there's no direct evidence for that, it does qualify as something a really bad man would do, and it would also be a way he could make a lot of enemies. Now if that were true, there are certainly fun directions you could take this. What if Miguel's dad was part of some drug cartel that was supplying Terry Silver's new coke habit? Yeah, Silver is back on coke, and if you don't know why, you should check out that video in the corner. It would be a way to tie Miguel's storyline in Mexico back to what's happening in the valley. But ultimately, I don't think that'll be the case. The show is generally pretty good at keeping details like this a little vague. There isn't a lot of need to go into excruciating detail, but what we have are the important points to know. It was illegal, he was a bad man, and he made enemies. Certainly at some point, Miguel will ask him what was the situation. His mom never explained. What was he doing that was so bad his mom felt she had to leave? Now there's two different ways I think Miguel's season-long story arc could go. They start the same but diverge at the end. I'll explain. Miguel's dad says he was tied up in some illegal stuff and his mom was right to leave. He was going down a bad path. Ultimately, he realized it was wrong and it was costing him what mattered in life. He decided he had to get out of Ecuador. That's why he moved to Mexico City. He needed to begin a new life. So Miguel will meet his father as a changed man. He's a good man not involved with illegal stuff at all. He probably teaches karate. That would make sense. One of the important themes of this entire saga is that karate can lead to a better life. There is always redemption in karate. His father may even have his own dojo. They train together and bond over karate. What better way for a father and son to bond than with training martial arts? These aren't just random theories. There's a lot of specific evidence to back these up. These may involve some mild Season 5 spoilers, so if you don't want to see anything, by all means, click away now. In early December, the production moved to Puerto Rico to shoot the scenes that would take place in Mexico. They hired a lot of local talent, as is common. While the local talent wasn't as keen on the American concept of don't give out spoilers or say anything, there were a lot of social media posts and pictures from the sets. The most important image here is this one. Now this man is Luis Roberto Guzman. He's an actor from Mexico and has appeared in several Mexican shows. In fact, he was even in the TV series Who Killed Sarah, which was a Netflix original series made in Mexico. He was also important enough or well known enough that different people wanted a picture with him. Now we'll worry about who these girls are another time. What's important here is this man is most likely to be Miguel's father.
Se parece más y más a su papá.
Mama.
Well, what do you think? Is Rosa right? There also seems to be some shots of Miguel and him together on the streets. Now, is this a bad man? I can't say. The Spanish language Cobra Kai fan accounts have said Luis Guzman has played criminals and bad types before. I can't confirm that as I haven't seen his work. But like I said, I don't think he will be caught up in illegal stuff when Miguel meets him. The important part of these images, however, isn't the people in it. It's the background. Look at these banners. There's another image from the inside, and we also have one shot up close. This is obviously in a different location. These banners look nice. They're important because we've seen these banners now in 3 different spots, though I do think these 2 are the inside and outside of the same location. While I don't know what EHV stands for, with the fist I'm guessing this is some sort of karate dojo. This will likely be an important part of the Mexico storyline with Miguel and his dad. So as I said earlier, I think his dad owns or runs this dojo. He cleaned up his life and found redemption in karate. It gave his life new meaning. That is the most important theme in this show. We've seen it time and time again for all the characters, young and old, so having the same for Miguel's dad makes sense. This gives them something to bond over. Miguel can show off his moves and his dad will be impressed. Maybe his dad teaches him some new moves as well. A setup like this could help tremendously because it could make a meeting with Johnny easier. He would respect a man who taught Miguel how to defend himself and maybe even stepped in as a father figure. Otherwise, Johnny will obviously be on his guard, and his dad may even be skeptical of a guy who is now dating and in love with Carmen. You can expect a lot of Johnny-style humor to carry many of the scenes. While I don't know how long the story arc will last, you can assume there will be some midpoint where it seems like everyone is getting along. Then, as often happens, bad things occur. Here's where the 2 potential stories emerge. The first is something happens and comes up about Miguel's dad. We learn that maybe he isn't a fully changed man after all. Maybe he is still a bad man but is better at hiding it. Everything is a cover story. There's revelations, probably a karate fight. Then finally Miguel is crushed because he feels like he's losing his dad for real. What this does is solidify Johnny's role in Miguel's life. Johnny realizes he has to step in and be a father figure for Miguel. It becomes the exact opposite of the moment from here. The relationship is totally solidified. I admit I first thought that was the direction the story would go. However, after considering it more, I do think it will go in a different direction. They're all happy and together, but Miguel's dad's past catches up with him. He fled to Mexico to leave his past life behind, but he couldn't run forever. Carmen said he had many enemies, and those enemies are back to settle an old score. Luckily, the score can be settled with a big karate fight. Maybe even Johnny and Miguel's dad fight together and kick the bad guys' butts. So the story ends on a win for the good guys, and the bad things from Miguel's dad's past are dispatched for good. I don't know when in the season that will take place. How long will it all last? I do think the Mexico storyline will take a modest portion of Season 5. It could run up to the halfway point with their victory, and things are all good now, capping Episode 5. The next important question though is, will Miguel's dad ever come to the valley? I think there could be one possible way. After the enemies from his past are defeated, perhaps he feels indebted to Johnny and wants to repay him. Upon learning about Johnny's problems with Cobra Kai, Miguel's dad offers to come to the valley and help teach. Johnny was shutting down Eagle Fang. He wasn't backing out of the deal. However, maybe Miguel's father will open a branch of his dojo, whatever it's called. This allows Johnny to keep teaching while still honoring the bet. Miguel and Robbie will be students and the old crew from Eagle Fang can join. This will be part of the opposition to Cobra Kai as Terry Silver is expanding and will have Mike Barnes and others as help. And with Daniel and Chosen together, Silver will learn ruling karate in the valley isn't as easy as it seems. Oh, and for what it's worth, I suspect the karate Miguel's dad practices is a form of Tang Soo Do, which is the origins of Cobra Kai. This is why Johnny will be able to easily step in and teach it as well. This also adds a whole new layer of drama to the story. Carmen and Johnny are dating and in love, and there is Carmen's ex-husband. While I don't think he'll be sticking around permanently, he does still have his life in Mexico. There may be an episode or two for Carmen to deal with her ex. It seems like they have unresolved issues that should be addressed. Vanessa Rubio is now a regular member of the cast and she needs some stuff to do. She won't have a whole lot to do while Miguel and Johnny are in Mexico. Maybe she'll interact with the LaRussos, but nothing major. Giving her an arc with her ex-husband gives her an important story and ties up loose ends. Plus, if they reconcile, it gives free rein to her relationship with Johnny. There's no longer a black cloud in Carmen's past. Are you excited to finally meet Miguel's dad? Do you think he's a bit of a karate master as well? Leave a comment and let me know. Always be sure to like the video and subscribe if you haven't yet. Lots more to come. Have a great day. I'll see you at the next watch party.